Hi, my name is Barbara Lowe here with the Standard Group at Compass in Bucktown in Chicago. And today I want to tell you how to do an FHA 203K loan. It's a loan that you are possibly qualified for. Who knows? We'd have to see after watching this whole video, won't we? But if you are looking to buy a home that needs work and you cannot afford to renovate it yourself, you may want to consider a 203K FHA loan, because this bundles the loan for the home and the renovation into one, and it does have some more lenient guidelines than other loans like a conventional or regular FHA or VA loan. So why would people choose to do this loan? Because very simply put, you can build equity literally in building into your new home, paid for by the bank. You eventually have to pay back the loan, but at least the renovations are covered in your monthly balance. So if you purchase a home that needs about $100,000 worth of work, let's say it was built in the 70s, the finishes are still from the 70s, green shag carpet and avocado cabinets, metal avocado cabinets and laminate countertops and maybe vinyl flooring, then you might say, no, I don't want to live here and this needs a lot of work, but the price is only $225,000. Okay, now we're talking. If you can spend $100,000 fixing up that $225,000 house, and at the end making it worth $500,000, hence building in the equity, you may think twice, because that's a pretty nest egg you can save up for yourself within about 6 months. So if you need to refinance and pull money out, you have an emergency, and your loan balance is $325,000, but the home is worth $500,000, then you have $175,000 to play with. But the bank does, when they refinance, want to see 20% equity in the home, whether that's paid down from the cash that you have that you've paid into the loan, or whether that be having built in the equity in renovations. So if you have your home, your loan balance is $325,000 and the value is $500,000, the $175,000 is the equity, okay? So you have 35% equity into your home. Now, when you refinance, they require that minimum of 20% equity, and you have now 35% equity. You can pull out the remaining cash, so 15%, for any emergencies. And what's 15% of 500,000? That is 75,000. So if you wanted to, say, buy another home and rent this one out, you can pull out 75,000 and use that for a down payment on another home, which may or may not need work, but you can still pull that money out and build with it. So this is a good secret to how you can purchase multiple homes on little money. So how do you qualify? To qualify for a FHA 203K loan, I believe the minimum right now is $640,000. You'll want to talk to a loan specialist about that. But the down payment requirement is only 3.5% of the purchase price. So if you don't have a lot of money and your credit's kind of poor, it's a little easier for you to get this type of loan. And the income requirements, your housing payment, the PMI, the principal, the interest, and the taxes and the insurance should not be more than 43% of your net income. You'll definitely want to double check with a lender with this information to see specifically how you qualify. But the other rule of thumb for 1099 employees, a lot of 1099 employees that I have known or worked with, they don't report all of their income on their taxes. And this causes a problem. They really want a house, but they don't want to pay their taxes. So this does not create a ideal scenario for the 1099 employee. It's kind of a catch-22. Well, you have to report as much income as possible so you can get to the goal of home ownership. And the way I put it to them is sacrifice for the 2 years, report that income, the high, minimal expenses, and buy the home. And you suffered for 2 years paying full income taxes. I wouldn't commit fraud, but just, don't be too frivolous with those expenses. A lot of 1099 employees tend to do that. So the banks usually want to see the housing payment with everything included, no more than 43% of your net income. And just keep that in mind. Now, so what you want to look at from when you're looking at a house and you want to purchase a house and assess whether this is a ideal candidate for a FHA 203K loan, you would say, okay, this house as it is, ask your realtor the value of the home as it is, and your realtor will do a CMA for you. And then they'll look at how the after renovation value, okay, so they'll look at how you want the home to look after, and then look for comparables that meet the standards of that after renovated value you're trying to achieve. So the realtor will do another CMA for the renovated home, the finished product. And you also have to look at the cost to get there. So you want to do some number crunching, have a contractor come with you to maybe the second showing and do an estimate, of how much this work would cost. So once you have those three numbers, 1, as is value, 2, how much the work would cost, and 3, the ARV, the after renovated value, you want to see if this works within your pre-approved limit. Now, if your lender has pre-approved you for $500,000, the home is $200,000, the work cost $200,000. That's $200,000 under. That's $100,000 under your pre-approved limit. So you're good there. Now you're safe to put in an offer at this point. When you put in an offer and the offer is accepted, you have to get on the inspection right away. So make sure to schedule the inspection right away. Sometimes it's 5 business days, sometimes it's 10 calendar days or 7 business days. Depends on what is negotiated in the contract. Whenever you schedule your inspection, it's best to have a regular home inspector there and you call a FHA 203K consultant to also be there for their inspection. They have 2 different inspections required. Well, the home inspection is not required as a part of this loan. It's recommended always by realtors. However, the 203K FHA inspection is kind of redundant in a way. So you may be able to get away without doing a home inspection. However, I always want to advise required to do a home inspection. So the regular home inspection is about $400 to $500 right now in the city of Chicago for a single family home. And for a FHA 203K consultation or inspection, they call it both, that would be about $1,000. So the thing about the FHA 203K consultation, the consultant is not only there for the initial inspection and consultation, he's there through the whole process. What he does is he writes up his own estimate on top of the general contractor's estimate. So your general contractor estimated like $4,000 for windows, and the FHA 203K consultant estimates $2,000 for windows. Let's say your contractor is high on all these prices and the FHA consultant comes in very low on them. They'll be able to negotiate with the contractor instead of you having to do so to get the cost down on these things. So the FHA, the consultant, he is or she is there for that guidance, and also being the police officer for the GC and throughout the whole process. So when you close, the consultant will walk through the project through its phases. So you have like a rough phase, you have the electrical phase, the plumbing phase, rough in, and then before drywall they check again, and then they issue, once the FHA 203K consultant has checked off the work that the GC has done, he can tell the bank that we authorize the second payment or the first payment or the third payment to be given to the contractor. Now the way that the contractor is paid, by the way, it's very important that you understand that the contractor has to be approved by the bank. They have to have their own reserves to front on this project because the payments to the GC aren't made in advance by the bank. They're made in arrears. So the work has been, say the electrical work and the plumbing work has been complete for 3 weeks now. The bank will finally issue a check to the GC for that work. And then they start on the next phase, the drywall, the finishes. And once that work is complete, the FHA consultant comes and checks that, advises the bank to move forward. He approves it. He advises the bank to move forward with making the second payment to the contractor so that the work that he has already done, the GC or she, is now paid 3 weeks later from completion. So whenever you're working with somebody who doesn't have these reserves, it's going to be very difficult to proceed with work if they need money before they start. So when you're finding a contractor, they have to understand that. And we can't use any family members, friends, the buyer can't do his or her or their own work, and et cetera, et cetera. So, all right, so going back to the inspection and the FHA 203K consultant coming to do his initial review, that once that's all completed and the numbers are worked out and both estimates are in and they're in line, the values are in line and negotiated, that paperwork can now go to underwriting with the lender. You'll still be under contract. You're still going to have to go through your regular loan approval process for your financials and your income and any obligations you have with credit cards, car payments. You have to show those documents as well. So once you've given all your paperwork to the bank and the consultants and your GC has given all the paperwork to the bank, you may now go into underwriting typically, and this is a good sign because now we're under final review for the loan. And then once your loan, after final review, is approved, that means we're ready to go to closing. So that this whole process can take about 45 days, but to be safe, the realtor and the lender want to see that on the contract, the closing date is stated 60 days later from acceptance of the contract. So say that I'm writing an offer, I provide 60 days. On the closing date, I'll literally write 60 days after seller acceptance. So we have that time to process everything. So this process can be lengthy, can be very aggravating for some people. You're going to want to ask a lot of questions. If you don't get it, ask again. I've been there before. I've had a 203K FHA loan myself, and trust me, I've asked the same questions over and over and over because one, it didn't make sense. Two, I just wanted to double check that I was getting consistent information. So yeah, I am here for you. If you have any questions about the process, I've done this, quite a few times, and I know a lot of lenders in this Chicagoland area. So if you need any referrals, I'm happy to provide that to you. But I hope this has been useful. And I know it's been very general, but also I want to be mindful of your time. So thanks again for joining me, and have a great day.